A lot of people complain about the performance. First of all, good result. We need a cup run and then to the next round, mate. Ultimately, at the end there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, to be honest, that's the only positive we can take. I like to think of things in the big picture, and although we won today, I don't think the performance was worthy of the victory. I thought Villa were the better team. They did dominate. There was a period of the game where they dominated the midfield completely, just went through, bypassed McTominay and Fred. It was about half an hour long. They kept peppering our goal. If it weren't for De Gea in net, if it was another goalkeeper, maybe they would have won that game. They had 2 goals disallowed due to offside. And they had one as well where Ollie Watkins should have scored and hit the crossbar. So, to be honest, we didn't really create any chances. We didn't really get behind the defence enough. There were a couple of counter-attacks where we should have probably done more with it, but again, the players are just not clinical enough. They're just not good enough in decision making. They just don't have that quality, and they don't have the gel that blends them together as a team. I think that's the first thing I noticed when I saw the lineup. You just see a lot of players that are just kind of just put together. You know, they've not really played with each other that much. There's players coming back from injury we've not seen in a while. You look at the bench as well. There's not that many regular players on the team. And when you go out there, you see them. They don't really play like a team. There's no identity there. And I thought that would have changed with Rangnick coming in. But obviously, we've got this issue now where the players are not committed. They don't want to back him. They don't believe in his philosophy or whatever it is. And you're seeing that on the pitch. That's all there for everyone to see. We don't seem to be improving. We seem to be getting worse. And you can just point out the individuals and say, look, this player's not good enough. That player's not good enough. But at the end, you know, what can you say? That's where we are as a club right now.
Yeah, players failing individually, not winning their battles all over the pitch. Forward line for me at the moment, I don't know about you, is my biggest concern. You mentioned it then. It doesn't matter what 4 we put out there, we're not gelling, there's no cohesiveness, there's no sort of passages of play where you're thinking, oh, we can see something working. We're not seeing anything working, we're not taking anything away from any game at the moment, are we?
No, absolutely. I think we've got a big problem there. We just seem to be putting players that we have into a team. If you look at the best teams in the world or the best teams in the league, you've got your Liverpools, you've got your Man Cities, you've got your Chelseas. Every single player seems to fit some kind of position that the manager seems to see that player, a certain profile, you could say, in that player. But we just seem to have players that have been brought over by certain managers that are kind of just left behind. We just seem to put them together. And at the end, you can't really pick an identity. We've been asking this question for years about players like Rashford, Martial. Is he a number 9? Is he a winger? We still don't know the answer to that. We're still not seeing good enough performances on the wing or at centre forward from either of these players. And again, yeah, we seem to be lacking quality there. We've got players like Cavani, didn't do that well today. He was good at pressing, he did well defensively, but going forward didn't really offer much. Not that we created anything. I thought Greenwood was probably one of our best players today, but I thought he was too selfish. He did really well to get in behind the defenders. He took players on, he was brave. You know, he got past players, created chances, but he just kept going for those shots from outside the box as if he was Arjen Robben. And they were straight at the goalkeeper. He didn't challenge the keeper at all, and he just kept going for it. I kept thinking, you know, at the end there was one chance where he could have probably passed the ball to Elanga, done a bit of a 1-2 with him, got closer and maybe took a shot then. But he just took the shot from 30 yards out, and yeah, I mean, I think you can't expect to score those all the time, but obviously a kid of his talent, he's got a lot of confidence. I don't knock him for that. I think the players could do with confidence, especially the other one, Marcus Rashford. He seems to be having a bit of a shocker at the moment. I've not seen him play that bad today, like he has today, ever. I think the fans were on his back as well, who were moaning, and that must have made things a bit worse for him. But yeah, I think I'm quite concerned for him, actually. I think he seems to be getting worse every time we see him, and I don't really know where we go from here with regards to Rashford. I think he could use probably a break from the team, just sit him out for a while.
Because he was a little bit of a bright spark there. You've got Sancho to come back. I do agree. I think Rashford needs a timeout.
Yeah. I think so. I think when you've got players not performing, I think the issue that we've had so far is that we keep putting them back into the team, even though they're not playing well and they're not on form, just on reputation. But you know, what's the harm in bringing a player on like Elanga from the bench? He's done well. He came on, I don't know how long he was on, 5 or 10 minutes. He got past players, he riled the crowd up. That was what we should have expected from Rashford. Every time the ball went to Rashford, it was bouncing off him. You know, he couldn't control the ball. There was periods in the first half he could have ran into space and he didn't do it. He didn't look interested today. You know, it's not the Rashford that we know. Even if he wasn't, you know, that great at decision making, or, you know, he wasn't linking up that well, or he wasn't that great of a player in the last few seasons, at least he would run and he would press and he would get into the right positions. He's not done that today. He's not done that all season.
Bright spark probably at the back, mate, today, really. I mean, before you do go, mate, is it in that defence you're giving your man of the match? Are you agreeing with what the commentary team said with McTominay?
I thought that was laughable, to be honest. I don't know how they've got McTominay in there apart from the goal, because the midfield was pretty much non-existent. I would have given my man of the match to Mason Greenwood because of just the fact that he kept the defence on the toes. He was kind of the focal point of our attack. Yeah, he was the one who kept going throughout the entire game. I thought Varane, as you mentioned, yeah, he was very good. He was probably the only centre back that you can stick on the lineup, like guaranteed every game. He's the first name on the sheet for me in the defence. And I thought David De Gea kept us in it as well with a lot of big moments as well.
Dave, mate.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can guarantee from that team as well. Dave saves every day.
H, cheers for coming on, mate.
Yep, cheers. Thanks for having me.